For this graph, I just Googled bad graphs and it came up with an article, and this was one was from USA Today. And there's a few things that are bad about this graph. The first and most notable being the X and Y axes. On the X axis, it's not labeled, so you don't actually know what the percentages are referring to, and there are no tick marks or scaling. It's unclear exactly what it starts at. And then also the y-axis, even though the individual bars are labeled, there's not an overall y-axis title. The second thing wrong with this graph is the actual main title of the graph itself, common injuries children suffer, and then in smaller text, top traumatic orthopedic injuries for which children are hospitalized. It's misleading as to what it's actually um showcasing. If just especially like how the part of it is in bold, so that's the first thing your eye goes to, and then in smaller print that could be easily overlooked, it's specifically orthopedic injuries. And so you would think that 5.2% of children are suffer a spinal injury, when really it's 5.2% of children who are hospitalized with orthopedic injuries. It's not 5.2% of children. It's like a subcategory that isn't clear from the title. And then also just the way the graph is, the image with the data being like almost like a leg cast. It's slanted, the crutch is going in the middle. It's just not as easy to see and dissect as it would be if it was just a bar graph without all this extra pizzazz. So some of the ways to fix it: one, work on the axes, label the x-axis, label the y-axis, add in some tick marks, put in a different title that is not as misleading as this one. Make sure it's clear that it's not just injuries that children suffer, it's injuries suffered by children who are hospitalized specifically with orthopedic injuries. Add some kind of modifier there. And then also get rid of the crutch and the leg and just make it a straight bar graph. That would be much easier to see and a lot easier just to read and look at the data of. There are a couple reasons why this might have been intentional. One is that it's kind of like a clickbaity title. It gets people to read the article that's in because it is in USA Today. So people are wanting to make money off of the article, and part of that is how many people are reading it. And then also kind of going along those same lines, one another reason might be fear mongering. The people who made this graph might intentionally want to instill fear in parents and perhaps inflate some of the statistics that actually exist, or at least um make it seem like the statistics are much higher. But overall, I just think this is an interesting graph, and I think it has a lot of faults that are very clear.